So maybe you've been getting people request to be LinkedIn connections of yours, and perhaps you might even have been sending some LinkedIn connection requests yourself, but maybe you don't know how to actually start a conversation and start a relationship going with your LinkedIn connections. And maybe you've been feeling a bit like, I just feel like it's a bit icky. I don't want to come across as too salesy. How do I approach starting conversation in a pitch-free way that could potentially lead me to get to know my LinkedIn connection better and see if maybe they are a good fit to work with me? So I'm going to give you 7 ways of doing exactly this. So the first way is simply to do what I call the handshake, which is in your message to them, either reply or your first message going out to them, just give them a quick intro to yourself and then ask them to introduce themselves. So the second way that you can approach starting conversation in a very natural, pitch-free way is simply to use what I call the referral approach. Ask what type of professional connections would they be interested in making on LinkedIn. This is going to open up a discussion where you're showing that you're being helpful, you're being supportive, and potentially leading them to get some referrals. The third way is to find common ground, and I love this approach. Have a look at their profile and then in your message mention some things that you have in common. Maybe you're both alumni of the same university. Maybe you've worked in the same industry sector. Maybe you've got a similar specialism. Maybe you have connections in common. Just find that common ground and start the conversation with that. The fourth way is to give praise. People love receiving favorable comments on their work. So have a look at what blogs they've written, articles or posts they've written, and then you can start a dialogue with them by saying, hey, I had a look at your blog on such and such, and I found it really interesting because, could you tell me a little bit more about what led you to write this? Easy way of just starting a conversation just by giving a bit of praise. My fifth approach is to ask for advice. Everyone loves being related to as an expert. So simply send them a message and ask their advice and their help on a particular subject you would like to get their help on. The sixth way is to be supportive. Show you are genuinely interested in them by asking, how can I help you achieve your goals? Or asking, let me know if I can support you in any way. And my final, 7th way of starting conversation, pitch-free and completely naturally with your new LinkedIn connections, is to reference a current event. And so right now, an obvious current event that I've been using in order to start a conversation is, how are things going for you during lockdown? So I hope you enjoyed my 7 different ways of starting conversations with your new LinkedIn connections in a completely sales-free, pitch-free approach that is going to be completely natural and not going to make you feel icky at all. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you thought about these different 7 ways. If you've got additional ideas that I haven't covered here, different tips that you think are useful for starting conversations, things that have worked for you, please pop them across to me. I'd love to see them. And of course, let me know if you need any help with LinkedIn. Just send me a message or send me an email.